Hey guys, what's happening? Google leaks. Google leaks. Google leaks. Google lied. Websites died. Man. So, Memorial Day weekend, I guess it was that Monday. I'm barbecuing. I'm not dialed into what's going on in the internet world, but supposedly a bunch of data leaked from GitHub that was the keys to the kingdom. And I found out on the next Tuesday morning when I was getting dialed in and all the Google SEO news going on in the world, and everybody's talking about leaks and they haven't stopped talking about it. My gut, after 25 years in this business, was to not write about it. I want to, my first reaction is get the scoop, get the information, create the frame, right? Which is still important in your communications. But speed, I thought, would not be beneficial because a lot more stuff needed to come out. And but funny enough, my gut was right. On that day, I put something on my Facebook and I said, "Careful," something to the effect, "Be careful if you believe what Google says." The reason is that number one, what's been coming out is it's nothing new. I mean, if you've been in the business, you already know pretty much what they're saying. Now, these SEO pontificators who always need to have some sort of content, because that's what they do, is content, they're making whole shows about it. How to recover from the leak, how to use the leak to rank, and it's just more BS. So one of the things that I want you to understand is, by all means, you can look at it, but do you know if you're looking at a lie or not? The reality of it is it's probably pretty true stuff in there from what everybody's saying and from what I've seen, but it's not new. Which is funny, but Google hasn't really changed that much, other than a couple things. They can record data better than ever before because they have more processing and storage power, so they can do more. They've tried to stuff more information into the Google search, pushing that right into your experience, making it such that they're less and less likely to care about your website. Whereas way back when Google came out, they're all about a partnership, a figurative partnership with the website owner. Today, they have other data points that they can pull from, and those data points feed and share hopefully useful information for the consumer to digest inside of their searches, never really leaving the search. Now, the problem with that is if you've been on Google lately, with all this attempts to insert AI at points, I was in the labs search thing they do, they call SGE. Yeah, it kind of sucks. And in fact, the biggest message of this is, if you know that Google leaked, right? So why do you know it? I maintain because Google wanted you to know it. Because if you really are an SEO aficionado, then you also would have known that something that's more trustworthy, came out from a lawsuit where they had to release a bunch of information about their search algorithm. So why isn't anybody talking about that? So the other thing is that Google has an information campaign to craft the narrative when websites that are potential competitors are gnawing at their ankles. A few years back, before the AI thing got all big, they had a whistleblower that came from Google that said that he believes Google has sentient AI, self-aware. And you know, and at the time you're like, oh wow, man, that makes sense. Fits with your confirmation bias. They're so forward thinking. They're really ahead of the game. But then they go and release about the crappiest AI that you could possibly find through Bard and what's called Gemini. Just horrible in my opinion. And then the way they're trying to infuse AI into the searches is clunky, not useful in my opinion. So they're trying to compete and they're trying to be relevant. So what better than to get attention than to cause people to talk about them? And since everybody in the industry that does this stuff knows what was leaked, what did they lose? Meanwhile, the people in the industry will keep talking about and having how to recover from, how to do, thus replacing the last thread that everybody in the business did, which was how to recover from the helpful content update, the HCU, right? And on we go. The fact is if you're doing SEO correctly, there's nothing to recover from. It works the way it works. And guess what? The part that everybody uses that's in the business in one way or the other is talking above the consumer's head. In other words, if you don't know this stuff, then you've no doubt have talked to people that at some point you have to trust the technology, the geek speak, because you just don't know. I mean, how would you know if something's been created by AI? How would you know, right? It doesn't take a machine to know most of the times. You can look and go, that's AI created that. Or it didn't, because if a gal who's skillful with AI text generation can make it so it doesn't. But this is more, the key here is, if we can learn anything, is SEO has always been rooted and reported with the intention of fear, right? So the geek goes that you don't understand how this works. Google's going to penalize you or never let you grow, and your hopes and dreams are crushed, right? It's not the SEO technologists, it's Google. Blame Google. And so Google does it too. They expect the reporters to push the fear, but they also plant the seed, right? And so there's all, you know, Google had an update. Well, Google always has an update. Why do I need that? By definition, they update on the fly, right? But they're going to name it. I'm going to have another talk coming out about naming stuff. When you name something, then it's, ooh boy, that's a big one. They update all the time, but so what? Again, if you're doing your SEO right, you don't have to trip out about it. And so that's the real lesson from the so-called Google leak, whether it's true or not that it was a leak, or that it was constructed, that it was placed, is to be to be argued about. My gut says it was leaked, or it was placed. I first learned about this from a great marketer, great behavioral marketer. I would call him Dave Laconnie, may he rest in peace. He told me in 2000, I think it was 2003, is when I first met him at a conference with Chet Holmes up in the Bay Area. May he rest in peace also. Two great marketers. And he said that I think it was at the time, 30% of all news is placed. In other words, somebody's done publicity, somebody's done promotion, and they caused it to be placed. Like I'm suggesting that happened with Google, or how I'm suggesting happened with the fake news, in my belief, of the whistleblower and the AI. I think we're going on 3 or 4 months where OpenAI announced Sora, waiting, but they got in the news, didn't they? These are $1 billion companies that are more interested in not losing market share and stock prices than they are about your search results and your search experience. Let's coach Tim out.